Good morning and welcome to Inside Tennessee. I'm your moderator, John Becker. Our guest this morning holds the most politically powerful position in the city and has for 4 years. She's running for another 4-year term. Mayor Indya Kincannon, it's always good to have you with us. Thank you for being here.
Glad to be back.
Good to have my colleague John North as well. This marked a big week for you and the city of Knoxville because you laid out your budget earlier this week. Almost $500 million. 44 cents of every dollar spent goes to public safety. So we'll start there in just a sec with that specific. But overall, Mayor, what do you hope people take away from your budget and your message this week?
Well, what I hope people take away is that we are a city on the rise, and it's our job as the city government to help create great public spaces for people to get connected to opportunity, to connect to nature, and to feel safe along the way. So that's what the focus of our budget was, and also we're very focused on supporting our police officers, firefighters, and employees, because that's who provides all these services that city residents need every day.
And in the last budget, you proposed and passed a small tax increase to help increase the pay for our first responders and also help with recruiting more. Has that worked in the last 12 months?
It absolutely has. Our police officers and firefighters and other city workers have our backs, and yet last year at this time our shortages of labor were threatening our ability to serve the public, and so I thank the community for supporting that effort to raise their pay, and now those critical shortages are gone. We are having a much easier time recruiting and retaining our talented people, so that's good news. There's no tax increase in this budget proposal, and it's a balanced budget, and it's the lowest tax rate since 1974.
Mayor, it's a pretty straightforward spending plan, $559 million, I think. A couple things you're really excited about? It's pretty much a maintenance, let's just keep going budget, but is there anything else that sticks out that's like, I really like that?
Well, I think one thing that most Knoxville residents can understand is that we have a housing crisis, and so I'm really proud of our continued support for creating more housing, both private sector housing and affordable housing that's subsidized. So this budget contains over $7 million towards more affordable housing. I'm also adding people to our development services departments, so the people we have 3,800 permits and people in the process of developing more housing in Knoxville, and so it's our job to make sure those applications and the new construction all over the city can proceed in an expeditious and transparent and fair manner, because we need everybody to create more housing for our people.
You made a point in your address on Wednesday, I guess, that housing is important for everybody. It's something that everybody ought to have. I wonder if you're thinking about, or maybe we don't have the ability to do that, expanding accessibility, maybe not just to the very poorest or needy, but there are other groups, as I'm sure you've heard, that also could use some help in the future. I'm not saying fix it today.
Well, we need more housing for all types of families and at all price points, from newborn children to young people who are experiencing homelessness or just experiencing affordability issues, coming out of college looking for an apartment. We welcome young people to our community, but we need to make sure they have good jobs and good places to live. So this budget is going to continue to support more housing in Knoxville, both publicly subsidized and completely private, and I welcome the investments on all those fronts.
I spoke to somebody from a prior administration on the housing question, and they said, just remember, about a decade ago, Knoxville was not in the housing business. This is a relatively new evolution for the city. Can you explain that and why there's so much focus there?
Right. Well, the focus is because we have an unprecedented discrepancy between housing demand and housing supply. And so everybody is experiencing this across the community. And so we helped establish a commitment of local dollars of $50 million over 10 years. And that means $5 million a year. But we have exceeded that every year because of the needs being so high. We don't construct the housing directly, but we support KCDC, we support VMC and Knoxville Leadership Foundation and others who are creating affordable housing, but also private developers who are creating single-family duplexes, multifamily housing. These help bridge those funding gaps because financing housing is a big challenge.
I noticed in looking over the spending document, the intro, there's the note that one of the biggest sort of changes, if you will, is the loss or lack of, about $41 million in capital money that we have had in the past that we could enjoy from various sources. It was nice to have that. I just wonder if that really hurts, kind of is a little painful not to have that and sort of have to carry on without what was a great benefit.
Well, yes, that American Rescue Plan dollars that came from the federal government was really helpful, and it was one time. We knew that from the get-go, so we were very careful in how we allocated that towards capital projects rather than, say, salaries. So those projects are still in, they're all in process. So that we had $1 million towards traffic calming, big investments in stormwater infrastructure, and a lot of stuff that's infrastructure that helps support the economic and community development of our whole city. So those monies are still benefiting the city. I'd love to have it continue, but we have a strong budget and our revenues are good, and we're making wise, prudent investments for the future.
We have to take a quick break on Inside Tennessee. We're going to be back with more of Mayor Indya Kincannon and more on the specifics in her budget this year and when council will take it up. That's coming up.